we're getting you hurricane ready, and we can't forget about our pets. And think about this scenario. You're on a vacation during hurricane season, your pet is with a sitter or maybe in a boarding facility, and your hometown is being evacuated. How can you assure that your pet is safe when you're out of town? Joining us now with the answers and so much more when it comes to hurricane preparedness for your pet is the New Barker contributor and lifestyle expert, Anastasia. It's great to see you, my friend.
Thank you for having me, Gail. This is such an important message because a lot of us don't think about preparation for our pets.
It's so true. And I know you did a lot of research on this one, and a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about today are good reminders. But talk to me about, you called a few boarding facilities. What happens if you're out of town?
It's a great question. We were saying, what about out of the country?
Right.
You know, so the important thing to do is every single year, look at your emergency contacts. So for example, David, my husband, is an emergency contact for Gibbs. But if we're out of state or out of the country, that's not going to help when a hurricane is coming our way. We need somebody to pick up Gibbs and take care of him so he can get out to safety also. So these are things to think about. You almost need the backup to the backup to the backup.
Correct.
You know? So find somebody. Are you going to be in town? Are you, does your apartment, are you, allow dogs? Are you allowed to have pets in their house? So make sure that you update your contact list every single year, and this is a great way to start at the peak or the start of hurricane season.
100%. Okay, there are a lot of things you mentioned. Make sure that your vaccinations are up to par and up to date. Then you also have any kind of medications, checked expiration dates. All these things are incredibly important.
It's stuff we don't think about. So like, this is my bag, and it's got the vaccinations, the medications, the expirations, and things we don't think about. Believe it or not, this has an expiration. So I always have a travel bag for Gibbs anyway, but what I didn't realize is I need to check the expiration of his food. He likes goat milk, and there's a powdered goat milk there, but you have to check the expiration of that. Neat note for the viewers is the fact that manufacturer's dates does not mean that's when it's an expiration date. So for example, this expiration, the manufacturer date was in 2021, but it goes bad in 2023 at the end of October. So it's kind of confusing, but you have to do your research regarding expirations, and that includes medications.
And you might want to go ahead and take your dog to the vet early so that, if you're not up to date on your vaccinations, or at least pick up the phone and give them a call.
Great point.
To find out what that window is, because you have to have these to go into, well, to even go into like a shelter or anywhere, or maybe even to a hotel. Or if you're going to jump on a plane, you got to have it.
You do have to have it, and it's a great point that you said. If you're looking at a pet shelter, look at those ahead of time, because there are forms. Save yourself time, download the information, write it out, fill it out, and you're good. The thing with a pet shelter is you also have to have a carrier, and it's also important to know that your pet will be separated from you because other people may be allergic to animals. So it's important to think about that. So, if you're going into a shelter, you've got to have a crate and your vaccination records. For us, what we usually do with traveling, we've got, it's Gibbs' place. So he is currently on his place. It's just bedding, and that way he knows it's a safe spot, and he can go to if he's going to enjoy a couple of treats and different things like that when we travel.
Okay, and I'm glad you mentioned the shelters. Now, are you talking like emergency shelters that open up when a hurricane hits? Maybe it's a school, maybe, it's like the JCC. So some of them do allow pets.
Yes.
But they separate your pets from you.
They do, yes. The thing is, you have to make sure that your pet is on the list. So reptiles, for example, are not on the list, right? So you have to make sure you can have cats, you can have dogs. I can't remember the whole list, but some of us have to give our dogs medication, so they can have bedding and their medication with them, but their crate has to go with them because they are in a separated part from you when you sleep. Then obviously you get up and you go and exercise them and stuff in the morning. Okay,
that is really, really good to know. Anything else? I noticed you brought Gibbs' shoes along. Anything else we need to know about?
I think it's important to have a checklist. So I have in the very front is a checklist. We have night gear because, you don't know where you're going at night.
Or if you use electricity.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so make sure you take your night gear chargers, and when you're taking your dog out at night, it's really important to do something like this. Put it around their neck or have a leash that lights up. And that way, because we don't know, what environment we're going into. When you do go to a pet-friendly hotel, the best tip is check it out, make sure you go early instead of waiting for the chaos to hit. And then the second thing is, where are you going to exercise your dog? So we've done parking garages, we've done hallways, because they need their exercise too. So make sure you check out different spots so you all can get through this safe and healthy.
This has been one of the most thorough preparations for pet segments I've ever heard. Thank you for doing all this research for us. We really appreciate you.
I appreciate you.